guys, in this video I will be sharing with you all a couple of my favorite websites that I found to be very useful throughout my 4 years in high school. If you have any websites that you personally recommend, definitely be sure to leave them in the comments down below because I would love to check them out. This first website is called hemingwayapp.com, and it is very, very useful if you're taking an English or writing class, and this personally helped me so much with my college application essays. So the whole point of this website is to sort of give you like a readability score and overview of whatever writing that you paste into this entire section here in the middle. And so it will first tell you the word count, and it will also highlight things in varying colors. The yellow means that a sentence is hard to read, so you can shorten or split it. Usually if you just edit it a little bit, it'll eventually change back to the normal text. And then same goes for the red sentences, which are very hard to read, and maybe if you use too many adverbs, you can omit those, and that'll take care of the blue. If you have like more simple alternatives, that'll be in purple, etc. So I found this website to be incredibly useful when I was editing and revising my essays. I would just write those in Microsoft Word or Google Docs and then paste it into this website, and it will show me all of the different corrections that the website will do for you. The next website I'm sharing with you all is called Canva.com, and it's very, very, very easy to use. I used this a ton for my social media banners and for all sorts of like group projects and things like that in high school. So basically this gives you a very, very quick step-by-step tutorial for graphic design, and it's also completely free. So that was like the beginning tutorial that you have, and then in addition to that, it makes it very, very easy to use the free photos they have, different types of grids in case if you wanted to make a collage, different frames, and all sorts of tools that you can use to edit things, whether it's with text, and there's all sorts of different font families and headings. You can use different backgrounds like color palettes and patterns, and then all sorts of layouts to make all kinds of different graphics. And I think that this is an awesome website if you're just trying to get into graphic design or you're using it very casually for a school project. The next website is called Ptable.com and is an absolute lifesaver if you are someone who's taking any sort of chemistry class. And basically, every single time you hover over an element, it'll show you up in the larger window, and if you click on any element at all, it will pull up an entire pop-up of the Wikipedia page, and that gives you a ton of different information, properties about that specific element. And so I found that this was very, very useful. If you hover over any of the categories, it'll highlight that for you on the table itself. So if you have like a test or something like that about different categories, I found this was useful for me to check myself while like thinking about the different categories to say like, okay, well, where are like the metalloids? Like I could then think about that before hovering over. And this is just a really cool interactive website that's again completely free, and I think it'll be useful for any chem. This next website is called symbollab.com, and it's basically a step-by-step calculator for almost any level of math, I believe. So if you go, and for me, I found this website when I was in calculus, so it has very, very specific calculators for all sorts of calculus problems. If you type in any sort of function or equation or problem in this box here and you click go, it'll give you first like the solution to that, and it will also show all of the steps. And if you needed like an additional like steps or showing work in between, you can click on that and it will sort of expand that box and show you the more broken down version of how this problem was done. And I found this so useful. I really, really liked it, and it's definitely useful for almost any level of math, because for like pre-algebra all the way through like calculus, statistics, and chemistry, it has very, very specific calculators for those things. So I would absolutely highly recommend checking out this website if you struggle at all with any sort of math. This website is one that I've known about for an extremely long time, and it's called Kapha, and I believe they also have an iPhone app that I definitely used to have on my phone, but it's basically a website that has a bunch of different cafe sounds or coffee shop sounds. So I generally will listen to either like the morning murmur or the lunchtime lounge settings, and those ones will just give you background noise of a coffee shop, and I personally focus very, very well when surrounded by that sort of atmosphere, and so that helps me focus if I'm studying for a very long time in my room, like alone. And so this works for me instead of listening to music sometimes if I'm like really, really needing to focus. So I would definitely recommend checking this out if you haven't heard of it before. This website is called Desmos.com, and it's this awesome graphing website where you can literally graph anything you want. It has this awesome keypad down here, and you can graph any function on this, and you can also do multiple functions in this like left margin down here. I think it's really useful to look at all sorts of different graphs that they have already pre-made as sort of examples. Some are in polar form, some will be in normal like coordinate planes. And so it's really good for any level of math, and you can like check around, manipulate different things, check different points. And this was really great for me when I was studying for various like exams and things like that. And in addition, it's also useful when I was using it to check my homework, because I could type in whatever function and sort of be able to see how that solution would look on a graph. So again, this is an awesome website for any sort of math that you have going on. This is a website I've known about for an extremely long time, and it's called thisissand.com, and it helps you sort of just make virtual sand art, and I think that it's really, really relaxing, and I enjoy using it mostly just to sort of not necessarily waste time, but more like when I'm really, really stressed out and I need something that isn't like studying or, freaking out about like whatever test is coming up or whatever, and I can just make sand art, and you can really be really creative with this or just do whatever like I am. And I find that this is just really, really soothing and has awesome like kind of like background sound as well. So this is just something to look at in case if you're the type of person to get really like stressed or anxious. This website is called Sleepy Time, and it's definitely something you've seen before on my channel if you've been subscribed for a very long time, and it's so helpful for trying to regulate your sleeping schedule during the school year. You can do one of two things. First, find out what time you should get up if you go to sleep now, and it'll basically just calculate every hour and a half, and it will calculate every single like hour and a half from there. So that's like a total sleep cycle. So they ask you to sort of think about waking up at these times if you go to bed right now, or you can decide like, hey, I want to wake up at like 8 a.m. And so it'll then calculate backwards from there. These are like the ideal sleeping times if you want to wake up at refreshed and ready for the day at 8 a.m. So this is something that I use very, very, very often. Out of all these websites on this video, this is the one I absolutely use the most. This website is called writerhymes.com, and it's very useful for any sort of English class and again, or writing class, but I think that it was especially useful for me when I was using this for like poetry units where you need to find rhyming words. So it's really easy to use. You hold down the option button and then click on it, and a little bubble will pop up here, and it'll give you words sorted by syllable that rhyme with whatever word you've clicked on, and you can do this as many times as you want. And I find it just very, very easy to use, very quick and to the point. I think there are a ton of websites that help with rhyming and stuff like that, but this is one that I found that works really well for me and I enjoy using it. This last and final website is extremely, extremely obvious, and if you are a student who looks for a lot of resources to help study, like you've stumbled upon my channel, you probably know about Khan Academy. I've known about this website since I was in about like 5th grade when it was first starting out, and it's so useful. There's videos and tutorials and lessons for almost any sort of math you would want, and it's sorted by subject and grade for any sort of STEM subject. There's also things for humanities and the arts, things for economics, and I actually personally found the history things a little bit like definitely helpful, especially for AP US history. And I've used all of the videos and things for math multiple times. I often will go through and find different sorts of things that really help a lot. You can get like a personalized experience as well as just doing practice exercises, and I think that this is just a fantastic website. It's nonprofit, I think, and it's completely free to use. So if you aren't familiar with Khan Academy, that's definitely something you should check out.